Seahawks Today coming up in just a few moments from right now. But before we do, we want to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel as we're bringing you daily Seattle Seahawks content. We are in the midst of a sub-battle with Dolphins today, trying to beat them to 30,000 subscribers. My guy Will Scott over there has been talking a lot of crap. I had to put him in his place. Seahawk fans, I fought for you.
Oh, my goodness. Tyler Jones is here. Let's go, Jones. Let's go. Let's go. Hit that big red sub button right now.
See, no other show will fight for their audience like we will on Seahawks Today. So, with that, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as we try to get to 30,000 subscribers. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. That's YouTube.com/SeahawksTV to subscribe today. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Seahawks Today is presented by Manscaped. We'll tell you more about what they do and what they offer coming up later on in the show. But first, today we are focused on trade targets for the Seahawks. We have talked a lot about quarterbacks involving the Seahawks and potential moves. Today, I will spare you the treatment of talking about quarterbacks and look at other positions. I have 6 names. None of them are quarterbacks of who the Seahawks should look at. Not saying they shouldn't trade for a quarterback, but there are other needs that need to be addressed as well. First off, let's set the scene for you on this Seahawks team right now. Just under $17 million in cap space. They've made some moves to free up some money to potentially do some things here. We mentioned the quarterback position is in need, but also the linebacker spot, somebody to play with Jordan Brooks and provide some depth. The defensive tackle spot, Poona Ford. He needs a wingman down there. I loved the new Top Gun movie. I know that producer Jack did as well, and everyone knows that you got to have a wingman, right? And then the offensive guard spot, a new need for the Seahawks as Gabe Jackson is still recovering from offseason surgery, and there's a chance that he could be cut. With that, the Seahawks right now, according to ESPN's Football Power Index, are ranked 27th in the NFL. So a lot of work to do if this team is going to try to get better. Let's look at candidate number 1, Deion Jones of the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, it's no secret, are shopping Jones right now for draft picks. He is in the midst of not being involved in workouts right now as he's rehabbing his shoulder. Still a lot of money that he's still due at this point. 2 years left on his 4-year, $57 million contract. The numbers for Deion Jones, you can see still a lot of production. Last year, 137 tackles. His numbers have looked pretty good over the years. You go back to 2018, 53 tackles, and the numbers went up from there for Deion Jones. You would have to think he still has some good football left in him going forward. More names to get to in just a moment, but before we do, I want to hear from you guys in the comments section. Besides the quarterback position, what is the biggest need for this Seahawks team right now? Is it linebacker? Is it offensive guard? Is it defensive tackle? One of those 3 positions. Let me know in the comments section. Type LB for linebacker. Type OG for not original gangster, but in this case, offensive guard. Or type DT for defensive tackle. Let me know in the comments section. This is our pinned comment today. You're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it. While that ad is playing, get your votes in. Type LB for linebacker, OG for offensive guard, or DT for defensive tackle. The next name on our countdown is Kenneth Murray, linebacker for the LA Chargers, entering his 3rd year in the National Football League, a 2020 first-round pick. Last year, he missed 6 games with an ankle injury, but he did have a very impressive rookie season before that. Now, this regime that is there in Los Angeles now did not draft Kenneth Murray. He was picked up by the prior administration there in Los Angeles. So they're not necessarily tied to Kenneth Murray and could potentially be shopping him. You look at the numbers, that rookie year, solid. 107 tackles, 5 tackles for loss. But last year, with just playing 11 games and not really necessarily fitting what the Chargers wanted to do, his production dropped off a lot, just 31 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. He could be a good fit to play alongside Jordan Brooks in the Seahawks defense. He's a name I like, and it's not going to cost you a whole lot either with him still being on that rookie deal. The next name that we want to look at is Isaac Seumalo. And Seumalo is a Super Bowl champion. Last year, though, was banged up a bit. Missed 14 games in 2021 with a foot injury. 1 year left on a 3-year, $16 million deal. And this could be somebody that is a potential replacement for Gabe Jackson. He could fill that void if Jackson is not able to give it a go and recover properly. Now, I know you may be saying to yourself, wait, Tyler, you're going to replace an injured player with a guy that was already injured. Well, Seumalo looks like that he's in good shape, that he has recovered from that injury that he suffered last year. So this could be an option there for that guard spot. More names to get to in just a second, but before we do, Father's Day is just around the corner. Not too late to get Dad that present that he desires. And you know he wants Manscaped. Get your hands on the Platinum Package. Available now. Save 52% off. $123.99 is what we're offering just for our Seahawks Today viewers with the promo code Seahawks at checkout. Dad is going to love this. And the only way that you can do it is by going to manscaped.com and using that promo code Seahawks at checkout. Dad is going to be all over this, going to be so excited. And maybe you get it for yourself or your friends. Got a birthday coming up. Tell them you want this Manscaped package. Get your hands on this now on manscaped.com with the promo code Seahawks. You'll be glad you did. So here's more on Isaac. Here's the numbers there according to the nerds at Pro Football Focus. Although it was a small sample size, he played pretty well. An overall grade of 74.8. Pass blocking was really good at 82.9. Run blocking at 75.5. And did not allow a single sack last year for the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's the thing. I know that the injuries were there, that we didn't see him much, but of the sample size we saw, Isaac was terrific last year. Another name to watch for, Cody Ford. And Ford has flexibility. He can play tackle or guard, either one. In the Seahawks case, they would need him to play guard. And you go back to, he's still a relatively young player, second-round pick back in 2019, missed 2 games last year with an arm injury, and he doesn't cost a whole lot. He has 1 year left on his $7.5 million deal. The thing I like about him is stability, but the numbers need a bit of work. You look at those grades last year, PFF did not like Cody Ford. They gave him a 46 as an overall grade, 47 in pass block, and 47 in run block. But just allowing 2 sacks and his stability, that's where, if you're the Seahawks, you're hoping that the numbers are lying a bit, that they're not telling the full story. And that's what I believe is the case here, where Cody Ford is better than what's advertised from Pro Football Focus there on that front. Another name, a veteran, Fletcher Cox. And you may be saying to yourself, Tyler, Fletcher Cox is old now. Like, what are you talking about? Trading for Fletcher Cox? Yes, he is a bit older. I get that. But he's been durable, has not played in less than 15 games since 2017, has just 1 year left on his $14 million contract, and he's still playing at a very high level at this point. 6-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion. You looked at the statistics. Last year he was solid. 35 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles. His production has not dropped off a whole lot, considering where he was at. Just 2018 wasn't that long ago, had 10.5 sacks. You can see he's still capable of playing at a high level. And if you put him alongside Poona Ford and put these two together, you can't double team one of them. You're going to get production one way or the other. So I know Fletcher Cox, a little older. I get that. I hear you. But I'm telling you, Fletcher Cox, at this point in his career, could get him at a discount. I don't think it's going to cost you a whole lot on that trade market if you like Fletcher Cox. Now, I do have one more name to get to before we wrap up, but I got to ask, who's a player that Seattle should trade for? Whether it's somebody we mentioned on today's show or somebody we did not talk about today. Heck, if you want to mention a quarterback, by all means, go ahead. Let me know in the comment section. Name a player the Seahawks should trade for. Last name on the list is Daron Payne, the defensive tackle from the Washington Commanders. And Payne in 2018 was an all-rookie team member. In his young career, he's been durable, hasn't played in less than 15 games in a single season, and he doesn't cost a whole lot right now. He is on the last year of a 4-year, $14.4 million deal. So Payne, I like what he's able to do. You look at the production of what he's done the last 4 seasons, pretty solid as well. He's coming off arguably the best season of his career, 61 tackles. That was more than any season prior. And like what we talked about earlier with Fletcher Cox, he could be a nice running mate to play alongside Poona Ford on the inside there. The thing for me, it's that contract that for this year not going to cost you a whole lot, quite frankly, of what you would have to pay him for this year. So, one more look back at our trade targets, not including the quarterback position. Deion Jones at linebacker from the Atlanta Falcons, who the Falcons are just desperate to get rid of at this point. Falcons in clear rebuild mode. Kenneth Murray, the young linebacker from the Chargers, who might have the most potential of any of the 6 names that we mentioned. Then we go to the third name on our list, and that is Isaac Seumalo, the guard from the Philadelphia Eagles, who is coming off the season where he missed a lot, but his numbers were really good in the time that we saw him play. Cody Ford, young guy, adorable player for the most part, missed a couple games last year, but when he was out there, he looked fine. Fletcher Cox, the veteran, probably the biggest name of this group, and then Daron Payne is our final name on the list there. So there you have it. That's our trade targets to look at for the Seahawks. As always, make sure you are subscribed to Seahawks Today if you are not already. We got to beat those Dolphins. I fought for you. Now fight for me. Subscribe to the channel right now. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Never miss a moment of what we're doing here each and every day on the channel, covering this team throughout the offseason, counting you down to kickoff here on Seahawks Today. Thanks for joining us.